And there we go. What's going on, everyone? And before I even get started, I know I don't sound fantastic. I'm doing my best for you guys, I promise. And we are back with another episode of Meet Your Maker. And as you guys know, we like to bring on different content creators, different makers around the community, get to know them a little bit. And this week, I don't know if we need to introduce him, but if we do, I'll let him introduce himself. Go ahead and tell him who you are, sir.
Okay. All right, man. Well, first of all, man, I just want to say thank you for asking me to be on the show, man. You know, I've done quite a few of these over the last 6 to 8 months, and it's really super cool for me to be able to come on a new show. You know, I've been on several multiple times, Joe, and so for you to reach out to me, man, and ask me to be on your show, super cool, and I appreciate it. So I'll start out by saying that, man. But for those of you who do not know, my name is Adam, and I am the guy behind Honyocker Beard Co. Yep, that's actually what I'm wearing tonight, man. So it's there. But yeah,
Yes.
you know, not an illustrious story there. You know, there she is. So, Sammy.
Need this for tomorrow at lunch.
Yeah.
Because I have to sit until after lunch,
Okay.
and I need help.
All right.
Okay, so you can help me with that lunch?
All right. Yes.
So I can stop for now?
Yes.
Yay!
Goodbye.
Yay!
There you go. It always happens. Whenever I'm live, she has to interrupt. It's like part of the show.
That's all right, man. Love the kids, dude. Definitely love the kids. So yeah, but nevertheless, man, Adam, owner, Honyocker Beard Co. You know, pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, super glad to be here. Take a chance to say hi to everybody in the chat. I know I'm usually late on doing that because very simple-minded, so it's hard for me to do a lot of things at one time. So I'll knock that out of the way. Appreciate everybody joining tonight. Since
I find that statement hard to believe with some of the scent profiles you come up with, but if you say so, like,
well, I just mean, you know, multitasking, you know. As far as scent making goes, that's a different thing because I'm usually in my zone, quiet area, all that kind of stuff to where I can just have peace and quiet and really concentrate. But, you know, worrying about sounding, you know, halfway decent on here and answering questions and then looking over, I'm not that talented, man. So.
Well, brother, I mean, I don't know if you've caught it before or not, but you know what we like to do here is we like to start from the ground up, give everybody a little bit of background on your company, let them know some stuff. Maybe they do know, maybe they don't know, you know?
Yeah.
So one of the things I've gotten asked quite a bit, which lets me know they didn't watch my whole review, by the way. They only skimmed through it to see what they wanted to see.
Sure,
but one of the things I've gotten asked quite a bit is the name. What does the name mean? I thought it was awesome when you told me, so go ahead and tell them now.
Yeah, so the name has been part of the fun, man, to be honest with you. When I thought of the name or decided what name I wanted to go with, I did not really take into consideration the amount of struggle that people would have even knowing how the heck to pronounce it, man. So, but yeah, last name is Hahn, H-A-H-N. And my grandpa would always call us Honyockers when we were growing up. And so when I was thinking of something, I wanted it to be personal. And because I'm a very family oriented person, and I wanted to bring that somehow into the company. And when I was still running the gym, when I was starting out with this, it was just running through different things that I could use. And that just popped into my head. And when I said Honyocker Beard Co. kind of out loud to myself, I was like, man, I like that. I'm running with it. So that's really what it is. It's a play on my last name, just spelt like the actual word Honyocker, which is, for those of you who don't know, is like like immigrants that came into the Montana area back in a long time ago, where they would like squat on ranches and steal chickens and things like that. That's like the technical meaning of Honyocker. So I spelt it that way because I didn't really want to be vain and use my old last name in the thing, you know. So you know, so we spelt it that way. But that's really the meaning behind it, and it's had so many ways it's been mispronounced and pronounced. It's actually just become comical, man. You've had you know, a big one that a lot of people say is Honyocker. Like,
Yeah,
you know, I hear that so much, and I don't even.
I was guilty of that at first. I was guilty of that at first.
You wouldn't be the only one, man. I would still say that it's a 50-50 battle to get people to say it. Like, even going on almost 2 years in, and it's just turned into something fun, man. So it really doesn't, you know, bother me either way. But yeah, Honyocker. Yep.
I was definitely guilty of that when I first saw your company. Somebody was like, "Oh, have you tried this?" And they held the bottle up, and I was like, "No, I haven't tried Honyocker yet."
Yeah,
I was definitely guilty of it.
Yeah, it's easier for people to say, I think, just naturally, you know, so they just gravitate to that. But like I said, now when I hear it, I just get a little chuckle out of it, and that's that, man. So as long as they enjoy the product, they can call it whatever they want, man.
So you were talking about running the gym. You still, like, I mean, I can tell you're still big into that world.
Man, I am so not.
No, really?
Yeah, man, I had been looking to get out of the gym scene for probably the last couple of years and just kind of needed something to push me in that direction. To be totally honest with you, man, I was a personal training director at the start, and then they bumped me up to GM, the general manager, and I did that for the bulk of my time there. Some would say I was a good general manager. I myself know that I wasn't built for it, man. So it was just one of those things where I was looking for a way out, and then COVID really just kind of shut her down, man. And it allowed me to really just take a different avenue and start doing this full time. And but you know, right now I have a good lifting set here at home that I've owned for probably 15 years. Have everything I need here at home so that I can not have to go anywhere. But the goals with lifting, man, are so much different, man, as I'm almost 40 now. So it's one of those things where I just want to stay kind of fit and lean, not necessarily care so much about looking all big and stuff, which I never really was anyway. But so that's really the goal right now, is just to stay in shape and stay healthy, man.
Make guys like me feel lazy, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
man, I'm gonna tell you right now, you see it all over TV, magazines, internet stuff about these guys and gals that are hardcore and stuff, but they're actually a lot more far and few between than what you'd think, man. The majority of the public struggle with it, and I struggle with it as well, even after dabbling in and out of it for 20 years now. So it's not easy, and it's something you just have to take a little bit of time to do. Like, my lifts have gone from almost 2 hours. Now I go into the basement and hammer it out in a half hour, just go hardcore quick and get it done. You know, so
me personally, I'm not heavy into the weight world and all that, but I have a buddy of mine. His name is Zaid. Actually, he goes by the name Barnold National Competitor, or Zaid National Competitor on here, and he's actually he was a professional bodybuilder and all that, and he was real heavy into that scene. And I always found it so crazy the way he had a diet and basically kill himself to make a certain weight class, and like he would like sit there and dehydrate himself to the point where if you pinched his skin, it didn't go back. And I was like, how's that a good thing? I never even understood it.
Yeah, I was never so hardcore that I wanted to compete. I worked with several people who did, taking them to shows and kind of being their sidekick and making sure that they were on point stuff. But realistically, man, I always just wanted to stay in shape. I was never destined to be on some stage in a man thong showing off everything.
Let me tell you something. I couldn't help it. The first time he got up on that stage, I've known the kid since we were 13 years old. And the first time he did it, he comes up the stage and he's like all like proud of himself, and I couldn't stop laughing at him. I was like, I'm sorry. All I see is my best friend in a thong right now. I was like, so
yeah, man. That tends to happen.
I'm trying to be supportive here, but all I can see is my best friend in a thong, and all I can do is laugh about it. I was like, I'm sorry, dude.
Yep. So I'll pass on that type of thing, man, and just stick to the normal life and trying to stay, you know, as healthy as I can, man.
Yeah, man, I understand. I mean, believe me, I wish I had that determination to actually want to go work out a little bit more. I mean, I do my push-ups, my sit-ups, all that good stuff, just so my body doesn't fall apart. But I just don't have the drive to actually push myself any further with it, unfortunately.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, now compared to even 10 years ago, it's completely gone. I tell people that all the time when we're talking. It's like, it's just not a top priority for me anymore to go as hard at it as I used to. It's just not. So I don't even try to fight it.
So wait, what gym were you at? Like, were you at like a national gym, or was it like just one by you pretty much?
I ran a Gold's gym that was
Okay.
here in my town. Yeah. One that was here in my town. Definitely great experience, man. I learned a lot of stuff doing it. So, you know, as much as I got worn out on doing it, I did take a lot of, you know, learned traits that I did not have prior to working there with me. So that was very helpful.
Yeah, that's the same place my buddy got his, because now he's a manager at another gym, but that's where he got his start too. He got his start at the Golds, and he was there for a long time as a personal trainer. And he said the same thing. Great experience. He loved working there. It was just time for him to move on when it was time to move on, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this seems, some people say this is a weird question, but I don't think it is, because everybody thinks every company's first creation is always an oil. That's not always the case. I mean, it's not. But what was Honyocker's first? See, I just did it again, I think.
It's no, I think you nailed it, man. And it's okay. Either way, brother, let's roll with it. You know what I mean? We're not here to criticize, man. We're here to have a little fun, man. So botch it if you need to, brother.
What was Honyockers first? What was your very first thing for your company?
Well, that actually got released, or I was going to release one that I made that was a coffee scent that I talked a little bit about this last week on Beard Therapy when I was on there. But my very first thing that I did that I was going to release was a coffee scent. And as soon as I was getting ready to release it, I realized that the name that I had picked out for it was already taken. So I kind of scrapped that, and that never got released. I've had a couple people reach out to me and ask me to do it as a custom, which I have. But the first one that ever got released was one that is I see Brian from Beards and Banjos in here. He has this one. I think Scott does as well. But Happy Trails, man. One that I have is called Happy Trails. I think that was the very first one that I did that actually was that was in the original lineup. But it's kind of a dirty, earthy take on the trails, man. Not meant to be anything that is, you know, cologne based, but just what it says, dirty, earthy, you know, type of thing. But yeah, Brian, yeah, that's what everybody does, man. That's the classic default to the name. But I think we know what it means, regardless whether somebody says Honyocker or Honyocker. I think everybody gets the drift. So no biggie, man.
I mean, at this point, like you said, it's just kind of become a thing. I mean,
yeah.
I almost, whenever I see a review of yours pop up, I'm like, let me go click on it, see if they said the name right. I'm like,
yeah.
And let me see if they got it right.
I was so destined to have my names botched, man. It cracks me up. You know, it's not even just the company name, but I'll have people call like Avenue Blue. They'll call it Blue Avenue. Even my dad will call it Blue Avenue, call Memoirs. They'll call it Memories. You know, there's North, instead of North Country, they'll call it North County, and then they'll call Brown County Brown Country. It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious.
Now, you know what? You touched on something though when you were talking about your first release. You talked about how you were going to do the coffee scent, and then you kind of pumped the brakes on it because you saw somebody else was using the same name out there.
Mm-hmm.
As a company, how much harder is that becoming? Because there are so many other companies out there now, and maybe even some you don't even know about.
Correct.
So how much harder is it becoming to have an original name or an original idea where you think it's original, you think you're the one who is the only person doing this, and then you find out down the road 2 or 3 other people had already done it?
I've only had that happen to me with that coffee one, man. Now,
okay.
I mean, I definitely would agree with that statement. Anytime I have, but see, the thing about it is my mind is so warped that what I come up with is it's going to be a lottery chance in winning that somebody else has the same thing, other than maybe like the humidor, you know what I mean? But I mean, like, with my barbershop, Avenue Blue. I mean, the odds of somebody having Avenue Blue as the name for a barbershop are pretty, I like to make sure, because a lot of times when I create, and everybody's heard this story, but it'll go off emotions or a thought or a feeling I have. But sometimes, like my latest release, Witch's Breath, that was actually, that name popped in, and then I created off of that name versus the feeling instead. But I can definitely see that. I try to, what's up, Rob? I definitely, if I think of a name, I kind of do a little investigating to make sure I'm not going to step on anybody's toes. The last thing I'll squash a scent before I name it the same as somebody else. But, I can see where definitely be hard.
Now, I'm just curious, exactly how long have you been in the game at this point?
Well, like having a website and actually selling stuff would have been March of 2019. But I've been working behind the scenes since a little bit before October of 2018.
Okay. And from when you got started, let's say from when you actually started like making products and realized there were other products out there and such, to now, how much has it changed? Like how many more companies have come around and things of that nature?
Big time, man. But also my perception of the whole situation has changed too. So I don't necessarily notice as much as I used to when I first started, because when I first started, I looked at it more like, oh crap, I got to compete with these other companies. What are they doing versus what I'm doing, and this and that and the other. And once I finally realized that being different was just being myself and not going out on a limb and trying to think of something or some way to be different, instead just be myself, and that would be unique enough, then I kind of put blinders on to everything else going on. Obviously I pay attention, but I don't scrutinize it like I used to, because I'm in my own little world now. And I just kind of look at it as like, if I do what I want to do, then I'll be okay. The minute I start worrying about everybody else or trying to compare myself to anybody else, we're gonna start to take a blunder. So back in the day, I noticed it a lot more than I do now. Yeah, I'll notice things popping up and stuff, but it doesn't stay in my mind like, oh, here's another one. I just, oh, cool, man, and then I just keep going. As far as as much as looking into it goes and getting worried, or, oh man, here's another company I'm going to have to compete with or whatever. Because I really, and a lot of the guys in the chat that tune into my stuff or when I'm on these things anyway, well, no, I really don't compete with any other company to begin with. I don't care about being the best beard company out there. I love the creating aspect of it. If I sell 2 oils a week, that's 2 people that have bought into my art form. If I sell 200, then that's 200. You know what I mean? That's not the goal for me. The goal for me is to develop a real rock solid group of guys that enjoy Honyocker product, and we're tight and we stick together and just let it take us where it takes us, man.
Yeah, that's an awesome way to think of things. And I've never really understood the whole aspect of that's my competition, that's my I don't really think there needs to be. If you just focus on your company and do the best you can, the products are going to sell themselves. You don't have to, say, oh, it's better than this guy's. If it's good stuff, knowing from my own personal experience, if you've got good product, I'm going to want to go get it, plain and simple.
Yeah, and why the hell would I want to be like anybody else?
Exactly. No, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I mean, there are so many great companies out there. But the last thing I want to do is be just like them. So yeah, man, that's a big part, just doing your thing and making sure that you congratulate other companies and other people. Yes, Mrs. Bluegrass, there is. But congratulate the companies for having success. And there's a lot of companies that I've tried that I really like their stuff too, man. I'm a fan just like everybody else is that's not a maker that buys stuff. Yeah, man, worry about yourself and things will fall into place. I'm a firm believer the minute I start worrying about everybody else is the minute that I kind of lose track of what I'm trying to do, man. And, kind of things will kind of spiral out of control probably.
No, yeah, I understand what you're saying completely, and I get it, man. Like I've said, I've never really understood the other aspect. While I get wanting to be the best you can be at something. Like, I understand that aspect of it. It doesn't need to be a competition. All you got to do is just keep working on your own stuff and doing you, and the rest will shine through at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I don't think there needs to be a war zone out there.
No, think about it in a music standpoint, man. How many bands are out there? I mean, if there was only one, if every band copied the other band, we'd have one type of music and nothing for everybody of different, things that they like to listen to. I mean, that's just an absurd way to think. You know what I mean? Like, just do you and let there be many.
Yes, and I'm the most eclectic person on the planet. I listen to everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Like, it's insanity. So it would be a problem if there was only one style of music out there. I wouldn't be a happy person at all.
Right. I hear you there, man. So
what would you call your first, if you have one? I mean, some people say they haven't had one yet, so we'll say, what would you call your first big hit, really? Like the first one that a lot of people got excited about and there was a big buzz about, if you will.
That one is without a doubt Avenue Blue. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't have to give some kudos to Dan C and his wife on that one, man. Her saying that it was her favorite barbershop at the time they did a review for me really put Honyocker on the map faster than it would have probably gone had I chose not to, give product to Dan to review. But since then, man, it's continued to be probably my all-time bestseller. It's one that I would say that most people would say I'm known for, is the barbershop, the Avenue Blue one. I can't tell you how many times I get a DM telling me, Adam, it's my favorite barbershop. Adam, it's my favorite barbershop. Rob, that's a close second, man. That one's a close second. Had Dan not said Avenue, but Dan's wife not said Avenue Blue, that would probably be the one. That's my proudest one, I'll tell you right now. It's the closest to what I was actually trying to accomplish that I've ever gotten with anything. That's my pride and joy one right there, for sure. I don't wear it as much personally anymore because I wore it for so much, but it's definitely my pride and joy.
There you go. It's humidors for the ones that know.
Yeah. And humidors are one that has got a lot of people on board with Honyocker. So much, I believe in that sense so much that when I get new customers, a lot of times if they don't order like the Humidor or Avenue Blue or some of my top sellers, I will include a sample of that one because I know it's so good that it will at least give them a perspective of what I can do, even if they're not high on the one they did get.
Miss Bluegrass, just be honest. It's your list. We all know you run that channel. Ken's just, he's just a guy on screen. We all know it's your channel, Miss Bluegrass. It's fine. We all know who the brains behind the operation is.
And you know what? That's probably a lot more common than a lot of us guys would lead on to, man.
Absolutely.
I know my better half is a huge part of Honyocker. She devised the co-wash. It's so popular. She does all the shit behind the scenes, man, that a lot of people don't realize, the book work and all the taking care of the shipping labels and all that little stuff that people that forget about when we're talking about running a small company, man. So, the women behind the scenes are huge. So good for you, Bluegrass.
Johnny's talking about striptease. Yeah, striptease is a good one. Taproot is still my favorite right now, but that's
tell
me.
You, man, this fruity stuff. I'll tell you, man, it's just not my cup of tea. It smells good. I don't mind smelling it, but in beard, I can't do it. Like I'm one of those guys that is a real cliche guy. I like to smell man, So when I put fruity stuff in my beard, I can't do it all day, But
listen, I understand. I understand you completely. I really do. Striptease is a very nice scent profile. I have it here. It's very nice, but it's not like one that I would reach for on a consistent basis for me. But Taproot is like something I'm like, I'd wear this every day if I could. No problem.
I was just talking to my uncle about that on the phone earlier because he worked with me on Taproot. And that one, man, to me is just the quintessential, like manly yet sophisticated man.
Yes.
It's not like lumberjack man. It's sophisticated man. And I love that one. It's definitely an everyday wear. The two-fisted, see, that's one that's right back when we started that I did based off of my grandpa's younger lifestyle, real hitting it hard, man, rough. And so when I wanted to develop a whiskey scent, I didn't want no sweet bourbon. I wanted it to be punch you in the mouth.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and so that one is definitely that. But those are the old school ones, like Happy Trails and Two-Fisted and Raggedy Hobo. Yeah.
Rob's right, man. Taproot is such an amazing scent profile, man. I mean, seriously, it's for me, every company, like as a reviewer, it's so funny for us, right? We get so many companies that make such good products and have such good feeling beard that for us, sometimes what separates things comes down to a scent profile a lot of the time, because it's kind of like, well, what do I want to wear? You know what I mean? Like that might feel better in beard, but I don't want to smell like that. So it kind of throws that out the window for us. And Taproot has quickly become one of those things where if it's one of my days, I'm reaching for it. Like if I'm not doing anything, I might be grabbing Taproot.
Yeah. I wear Taproot a lot, and I wear Body Language a lot. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I absolutely love that one. It's so unique and different. Yeah, Taproot's definitely an everyday thing, man. I like that one a lot because it gives you that manly feel, but also just gives you almost that just a little bit of something else that gives it a nicer, softer tone to it as well. It's kind of, I don't know, it's good.
So what came first for you? Because you have to forgive me. I am a little bit more one of the newer guys. I mean, I know I just passed my year mark, but I'm still one of the newer guys. What came first, the bomb or the butter for you?
Bomb.
Okay. And when did we get into the butter world?
Oh, man. I got to be honest with you. Excuse me. I don't write down the dates, Joe.
Yeah, look what you did. See what you did?
I know, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I would say, buddy, I don't know. Probably, I would say close to a year ago. If I've been at this, let's say online, ready to sell for about a year and a half, I'd say probably about a year ago. But
does it catch you off guard though when you hear some people say it? Like, I mean, I know you got to get used to the criticism both ways, good ways, bad ways, positive reinforcement, negative, whatever it might be. But are you used to hearing that your butter is one of the best out there yet? Or when you hear it, are you still kind of like, they're talking about my stuff right now?
I'm always going to have a little bit of that in me, man, because I'm such a perfectionist that I almost to a fault where I don't trust my own stuff.
Right. Absolutely. I understand you 1,000,000% right now.
So I am guilty of being that person where if I had 100 people get a hold of me one day and say a certain product is one of the best, it's always going to be very humbling and kind of really, type of reaction.
Right.
That's funny that you asked that because I have had probably I'd say a handful of people over the last month or two get a hold of me and ask me about a neutral or unscented balm or butter. I do not offer that, and I'll tell you why. It's one of those things that I learned working at the gym. When we go back to talking about things that I've learned working at the gym when running a business, is 5 people, what seems like a lot, ends up not really being a lot in the grand scheme of things.
Right. So, I understand.
So if I make a run of 50 unscented butters and oils and balms, let's say, and 5 people buy them, then I'm stuck with 45 that are just sitting here. You know what I mean? So like, in order for me to introduce something new that's in the lineup regularly, I need to have some pretty good people after that in order for me to make that pull. Now, I always will offer something if you want to do it. I can do it as a custom or whatever, you know what I mean, and still get it to you. If it's the product itself that you like, but you just rather have it unscented, then always reach out to me, man. I think anybody in here that has purchased from me before or has communicated with me before will tell you that I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to make everybody happy,
I can confirm that. Listen, the man didn't know me from Adam. You see what I just did there?
Yes, I did.
What I just did there?
Yes.
Okay. The man didn't know me from Adam the first time I reached out to him. And within 5 minutes, we were talking like we had known each other for 20 years. I mean, he's honestly just a good dude, and he's open to talk to anyone. And what he says he means right now. If you have any questions, whatever, I'm sure you could bug him 24/7. He might not answer you at 4 a.m., but he'll get back to you when he can.
There's a 60% chance I might. I mean, I got to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes the old lady, I can tell the look on her face is like, put the damn phone down, Adam. But man, I'll tell you what, I'm living the life right now. Like, you guys are my world right now. And I want to make sure that I show how much I appreciate it. So if you reach out to me, I want to make you feel like I got your back, just like you have mine. So it's important to me to get back to you guys. Now, Bluegrass, as far as the leather in the memoirs, I would say it's not an overpowering leather. It blends really nice. You're going to get a vintage, old building library type of feel from it. It's not a strong leather, like a leather forward scent.
I know there's guys out there that love those really strong, overpowering leather scent profiles. For me, I like leather. I don't like overpowering leather, though, for me. Like, when it's really strong, I don't really care for it that much, if that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, the memoirs, once again, and it'll be a common theme when you start to try my products, is that I like that vintage manliness smell. So memoirs is another one that is a vintage manlier smell, but it's not overpowering leather. It's not like you're going to open the bottle like, ooh, there's some leather.
And I know exactly what I actually just had a soap said to me. And when I opened the box, I went, whoa, there's leather in the box. And he sent me a leather soap. There's no question in my mind, because that smell just came right up. Amazingly, though, once I used it, the smell didn't linger long. I was surprised by that. Yeah.
So, and I have a lot of people that want leather stuff, and I'm sure in the future we'll incorporate some more leather. But it has to be when the time's right, man. Those of you guys who know how I create, I wait until I'm ready before I pop on anything. Don't like to force stuff. Yes, it is. It can be. I actually sold some. I had somebody in California reach out to me and ask me if it could be used for tattoo butter.
I use it.
Yeah. So I do the same. So, hopefully when he got it, he decided he liked it. But my butters are. When I created the butters, I had goals here. Okay, my goals were, when I created a balm, it was supposed to be a balm. When I created a butter, it was supposed to be a butter. My butters do not have a lot of carrier oil in them. They have enough to help smooth it out. They have a very minuscule amount of wax, just so I can ship year round.
That's what I was about to say. The wax is for the shipping, correct?
That's the only reason. And then the majority of it is actual butter. So a lot of people, when they get my butter, they'll think, ooh, this has got a lot of wax in it because it's a thick. But in reality, it's not
the butters.
It's the butters.
Absolutely.
So that's what I like about the butter, is when you put it in, you feel like you're putting something on your beard. It's not a lot of oil that just kind of goes into the beard right away. It takes a good 30, 40 minutes, because there's so much of that actual butter to set in, and then it turns into the softness.
Let me tell you something. That's something else that's evolved as well more recently, because, again, relatively a little bit more than a year I've been around now. And even back when I first came around, butters were exactly what you were just saying. They were mostly carrier oil blends with just shea butter. You know what I mean? It was shea butter, a lot of carrier oils, and then some wax thrown in for shipping a lot of the time. And then as I watched steadily, things changed and it's become more of a butter blend now in butters. And I think it makes a world of difference, man. I mean, the butters today, we're spoiled in this world right now, in the beard world, because there's so many great butters out there. It's insanity right now.
Yeah. And a lot of people, here's the deal. When I make a product, I make a product for it to work first and foremost. Right. Okay. And there's a lot of, I look at it like this. I have beard oil that I just put in my beard. So I don't want to put a butter in that's mostly carrier oils, because I just put oil in. so I wanted it to do what it was supposed to do, which was be heavier and thicker and really coat the beard with that nurture. And so that's what I went with, you know. And I was really nervous when I released our butters, because I was like, I'd had so many butters that were on the thin side, and I could tell they were a lot more carrier oil blended, heavy. And I was like, man, I hope people are going to like this, because a lot of guys like just the feel in hand. So they'll go, "Oop, check this out."
Yeah.
And it's gone. But if it does that, as a maker, I know you got a ton of oil in there, man. You know, if anybody that's ever messed with any kind of shea or cocoa or any of the butters knows that it's heavy. It's not just going to go and be gone. You know, it takes a little work, you know. So I wanted my butters to be butters. Not that the rest aren't, but I mean, for my style, what worked in my beard, that's what I wanted. So that's what we went with.
And you know what? Something I've always found amazing is when people get upset when they hear a maker such as yourself, right, say that they think their stuff is the best butter they can get their hands on. Well, of course they think that. Number one, it's their product, so of course they're going to say that. And number two, you made the product for what you wanted.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think that's the number one thing you will never hear me say, though, is that my stuff is better than somebody else's. I haven't tried everything, and I could care less if it is. Like you just said, I make everything to whether it works in my beard. And then if it works in my beard, then I'm hoping that it'll work in others. But if I don't make something that works in my beard first, how do I know it's even worth a darn? You know what I mean? Like, you got to make it and try it on something. And usually the maker's beard is what gets tried on. So
Ken, listen to me, Ken. Just put it in the basket. It's okay. Just put it in the shopping cart. You want Taproot, Ken.
Taproot's great, man. Taproot is really great. But I will tell you, Kent, like, Memoirs is my top seller this year. So that's a toss-up. Me, if I was picking between Memoirs,
you know what'll help Ken? Taproot. You know what'll help Ken? Does Mo have your Memoirs?
No.
Okay, because I was going to say, if Mo liked your Memoirs, then Ken will probably like it, because they're both leatherheads and they both love a lot of the same profiles. I just said leatherheads. I just did that. Wow. I didn't even just realize I did that, but I did.
Yeah.
Oh, no, definitely not. I would never block you, sir. That's not going to happen. So everybody's seen my video of you by now, because I've had more than one person message me and ask me how I didn't lose my voice making the intro, because I actually shot that about 20 times. No lie. I did about 20 takes while I was doing it myself like this. And I'm like, man, I don't got no guns. What am I showing off? So then I finally, I took your sticker and I was like, this is a good idea. This is going to work.
Yeah.
Did you come up with Rock That Yak, or did it happen on its own because of others?
No, man. Once again, man, giving credit where credit's due. That was Barbado Joe, man. Joe Ayers.
I friggin' knew it.
Yeah.
I knew Joe had to have something to do with it.
Yeah, 100%, man. And it just fits so naturally that we just started banging that out as a hashtag. And I'll tell you, man, that's the thing, is along the way, you get a lot of lucky breaks and you get a lot of things that just fall into your lap. And have little catchphrases like that makes a big difference, man. Like, it gets people something to say and to kind of like, oh yeah, kind of get behind, kind of like an anthem type of thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's a huge thing, and it's I'm very grateful that I have people that are always witty and coming up with stuff like that for sure, that are around me.
So listen, since you went down this road a little bit, right?
Mhm.
I've noticed, sir, that you have very, very poor taste in the individuals you seem to become friends with, because
Probably true.
you keep going on this show called Beard Therapy, and the guys who run that show are just absolute nut jobs, right?
Low lives.
I mean, they're just terrible, terrible people. How did you wind up in that world?
Well, I will tell you this, man. When I was first starting out and I didn't have a clue what the hell I was doing, I was impatient as shit, and I ran a sale on beard products way back in the day, and Joe bought some. And yeah. Hey, as soon as we get off here, call me. We'll talk it over, buddy. Maybe we can set something up, Johnny. But yeah, Joe bought some and has been a huge help to me, man. Just giving me pointers and not necessarily pointers on how to make anything or anything like that, but just somebody to lean on if I had, like, man, you think I should do this, or you think I should do that. He was always very helpful. And Johnny and I really started communicating when he bought Two Fisted way back. He reached out to me over that, and we just kind of started chatting since then. But yeah.
Oh man, see that?
No,
Still waiting for the new Honyocker release, The Bridge.
Hey, patience is a virtue, bro.
You know what? Since Rob brought up new release, talk me through your little process, sir, if you will, right? Actually, before I get to that, let me just say this real quick.
Yeah.
Everybody should know by now I'm just messing with Johnny and Joe. I will absolutely love those guys. And I think it's awesome the way that Joe and Bella especially both support Yak so much. Like, I mean,
second fan.
Anytime he gets new Honyocker in, Bella is like in the background telling the whole world that they need to go get it.
Yeah, man. That's what I mean. Like, they do that on their own too. Like, I've never had a conversation. Joe's not an affiliate of mine. Joe doesn't ever get any kickback, nothing like that. Just good-hearted people, man, and which is exactly what I want the people that use Honyocker to be. Your everyday, hardworking, good people. Like that, and so they're like second family to me, man. I tease Joe all the time that I'm forever in debt to him. He's like, shut your mouth, Adam. You don't have anything to thank me for. And I'm like, bullshit, buddy. Like, you're stuck with me until you tell me, cut me off, dude, because like he means a lot to me.
No, yeah. I mean, I absolutely think it's amazing, and the relationship you guys have. And like, I made that quote about therapy, but I literally think at this point, I might be the person who's been on therapy the most as a guest at this point. I think I've been on there about 4 or 5 times. I
love that show, man. I really do. And much like we're doing tonight, we're talking about some other stuff other than just strictly beard stuff. And I appreciate that. Well, as much as beard stuff is cool, and as much as I want people to understand what Honyocker's about and try it out, there's other things that are fun to talk about too, man.
You had a question from Dragon. There you go.
Customs, man. I usually open up my customs when I don't have a lot going on, simply because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm such a perfectionist that I want to be able to take time on each custom. I don't want to just throw some stuff together and send it to you. It's still got to be good. So I wait till I have a good little chunk of time when I don't have any new releases or anything coming out when I do that. So that's kind of a hit and miss thing. I wish I had a better answer for you, but when I get a lull, I'll make sure that I announce it so that if you want in on that, you can jump in there. As far as Two Fisted, that's another thing. I've been talking about this a lot lately, and maybe as I'm gaining a little more steam, I'm going to have to think about, making a little bit of a run of these. But Two Fisted is another one that the profile just seems to scare quite a bit of people. So it's one that I don't make a whole lot. You know, I wait till I get a few requests for it, and then I'm like, okay, I'll make a very small batch so people can get their hands on it. You know, as we get further along, kind of like the butters have evolved and the companies have evolved over the years here, much has the profiles that you guys get into. You know, a lot of the guys aren't real interested in sandalwood, pine, and frankincense and this, that, the other these days. You know, they want more of a, for lack of better words, a fancier type of profile, a more sexier type of profile that really catches their attention. And so I don't get a lot of requests for those. So rather than waste product and have them sit, I kind of just make runs, you know, kind of periodically, and that way people can grab it when I throw it back out. I know it's a long-winded answer. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, brother. Absolutely, man. I like those kinds of answers. That's good. That's why I do this. I want to know this stuff, and I want them to know this stuff if they want to know it, you know? I apologize for coughing midway through your answer, and
hey,
it's going to happen on and off.
Do what you got to do, man.
So wait, somebody just brought it up. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There we go. All right, Rad. Mm-hmm. So Rad, everybody talked about it, right? But for you, Rad is a little bit special, isn't it?
Yeah, Rad was all but one ingredient done by my son. You know, he's so into this with me, and really the whole family is, so I don't want to exclude the family. They really have gotten a kick out of this.
Real quick.
Yeah.
By family, you mean wife and how many kids?
Well, here I have, my daughter is actually in Mississippi, but I have my son here and my stepdaughter here along with Emily. Yeah, he's, you know, the minute I come up with something new, he's like, I'll be over. We got to make me a butter, because he puts it in his hair. He uses it in his hair and stuff. But he gets a kick out of the process and stuff. So I was like, you know what, man, he loves that candy stuff. He loves birthday cake scent stuff. You know, he's actually went out on his own, even without a beard, and bought some stuff from BAM, because the profile fit him a little bit of what he wanted, you know. And so I thought, let's do this, man. I've been wanting to use the name Rad for a long time. It's my favorite movie from the 80s, hands down, the bicycle movie. And so we just did it as an 80s candy themed thing. You know, I let him pick out the ones that and get the ratios together and stuff. And my only input was I had to have the candy cigarettes in there. But yeah, we just rolled with it. It's not something that's going to be in the lineup. Once I get rid of the labels that I have, I'll make it until the labels I have on hand are gone, and then it'll be gone. But it was more or less a fun process for us.
I always think ones like that are really cool to me, because, I mean, anybody who knows me knows I'm a father first. Sam comes before everything else on the planet. So whenever I see anything in the community that involves a dad and their child working together to make something, I always think that's cool, because, as you probably well know, sir, as your child gets older, the opportunities for you two to do things together, they become a little bit less frequent than they were when they were small, little guys, you know? Absolutely. So when I see that happen, I think it's amazing.
Well, I'm kind of the asshole dad in the fact that I don't let my kid get too far out of sight. I make sure he comes over and spends time with his dad. And that's even if I have to go pick his little scrawny ass up and bring him back. So, I mean, like, I value that. I treasure that relationship. And so he's going to have a tough time getting away from me. He's going to have to get tougher. He's going to have to get to the point where he can whip my butt before he
True story. My daughter is now 13, so Dad's not quite as cool as he was about 3 years ago this time, right?
Yep.
And she's on a video chat with a bunch of her friends the other day, maybe like a week ago now. And she's like, I can tell there's a boy on the video chat. Like, I can tell by the way she's acting.
Right.
And I was like, Sam, I'm going to lay down. It's time for you to go to bed. Come give me my hug and stuff. And she's like, it's a video chat. And I went, I care. So I went over there, grabbed her up, hugged her, gave her a kiss, and she's like, Dad. I'm like, I'm still Dad. I still outrank the phone. Thank you very much.
Yep. Good for you, man. It's the way it should
gotta,
be.
you
They'll thank
gotta,
you for that later, brother. They'll thank you for that later.
I hope so. I hope so. Yes, sir. Vlogger, when did you get here, Vlogger? I didn't see you.
What's up, man?
Yeah, okay. So now we're gonna get to. I'm introducing a new segment. I talked to Adam about this already, and we are going to do a little thing called like Ask the Interviewer. So I'm going to flip the tables for a few minutes here, and I'm going to let Adam ask me whatever he wants before we head to our lightning round.
Yeah.
So
when you
Adam,
when you got a hold
floor
of me,
is yours.
When you got a hold of me about this, I was like, that's a really darn good idea, man. And much like you guys that do these shows, I like to ask questions. So yeah, let's do it. I thought of just a quick 4 questions, man.
Absolutely.
And we'll start off, since we ended our latest conversation with the dad thing, man. What do you consider the funnest part of being a father?
You know what? I'm sure for a lot of people it's a different answer on everything, but for me, my favorite part of being a dad is bum days, if that makes sense. So there's nothing going on, and she decides to just come hang out with me, watch a movie, we make popcorn, we joke, we laugh. Like, it's just something about those days where it's just me and her. We're not looking at the cell phones or anything. We're just hanging out together, and it's like the rest of the world doesn't matter. It's just about me and my daughter at that moment. And those will always be the most fun to me. They might not be the most exciting days on the planet, but they're the ones that mean the most to me for sure.
That was a great answer, man. Quite different than I thought I'd probably get, but it was a phenomenal answer. I like that, man. That was a good one. So let's shift gears. We're kind of going to go like this with the questions.
Okay.
Meaning we won't stick to a couple that are on the same topic. We'll throw them, jumble them up here a little bit. But let's go back to the beard product. And why don't you give me what your favorite type of scent is? Like as a just like a, is it fruity? Is it tobacco? Is it this? Is it that? Like, what do you like find yourself pulling from the shelf the most, and which ones, what do they have in common? You know what I mean? Like, so what is your—
Yes, I hear what you're saying. So it would probably fall between a couple different, about 3 different ones that are always seem to be present in the ones that I seem to love. And that is some type of cologne blend. I've always been a cologne guy. I've always loved my colognes. So it makes sense that in the beard oils, I enjoy the cologne scents as well. Oud is always a big one for me. I mean, I rarely find something that has oud in it that I don't like. It just doesn't seem to happen much. And then tobacco. Okay. Tobacco is a huge one for me, which is amazing because when I first saw beard products with tobacco in them, I'm like, how in the world does that even smell good? Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. Because I'm a smoker, honestly, and I'm like, I don't want to smell my cigarette in a beard oil. Like, that's where my brain equated things. You know what I mean?
That's the way it goes for a lot of people, man. When I mention I have a tobacco scent, they're like, ugh. It's like, no. Now, going off of tobacco, I'm going to add a 5th question here. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Going off of tobacco, do you prefer a tobacco vanilla type of deal, or do you prefer like a dry leaf tobacco, or like a leafy hanging out to dry type of tobacco? Like what type of tobacco, or a pipe tobacco? Like, what type is your favorite type of tobacco?
Okay, so yeah, the tobacco and vanilla is always going to be one that you're going to see in my house for multiple reasons. Number 1, I like it for sure, but number 2, Sam loves it. Mm-hmm. Sam loves tobacco and vanilla, so you'll always see that here. I found that like the cigar blends and things like that, I always seem to enjoy. The only one that has been hit or miss for me has been when a company says it's pipe tobacco. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it depends on which one they use or, something like that, but it's been very hit or miss for me to where I'll like the product still, they'll work, but the scent profile just doesn't really work for me. It's not one that I'm going to reach for on a regular basis. So that's really the only one in the tobacco area where I found an inconsistency for myself when it comes to liking it.
So when you say that you're not high on the pipe tobacco, is it that it's not strong enough? Is it that it's maybe a little too sweet or not quite like a traditional tobacco thing that you're thinking?
I think it's the second one that you just hit on. It's
Okay.
just a little too sweet for me sometimes. And
Yeah.
kind of like what you said, I don't mind the sweet stuff, the fruity stuff. I get it. You know what I mean? Cool, man. People love it. I have nothing against it. And I can even say when one smells okay to me, but it's not something I really want to reach for on a consistent basis all that much. So I think that's what plays into it for sure.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that's interesting, man. You know, a lot of guys that like tobacco are pretty open-ended, but I love the honesty that there's a certain kind that kind of just isn't your favorite. So that's good to know. You know, I noticed somebody like Archimundo was saying that he has the like smooth, full-body tobaccos with a little sweetness, no pepper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's I don't know, man. That's why I think the humidor works so well, because it's a really good blend of like, it's not over vanilla. It doesn't have a lot of vanilla. And when I pick the wood note for that, I have long and hard searched for that ingredient, which is that special ingredient in humidor makes it different. And so, but
I got to tell you, that's the one I hear about the most when I hear people talking about your stuff is humidor. That's the one I hear spoken about the most.
Mm-hmm.
And then before that, the one I heard about was, and I'm going to say it wrong. I guarantee you. Avenue Blue.
Yeah,
no, I got it right?
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, you got it right.
Avenue Blue, because of Dan and Sam. That's where I learned about that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anybody, and I usually don't do this, but I'm telling you, if you're a fan of tobacco scents and you haven't tried the humidor, try it. It's good, and it's not the same as everything else. I know you're going to think, oh, it's another tobacco vanilla, but it's not. Just give it a try. You'll like it. And then let's go on to, so we got that. So you said tobacco, and what was the other ones that you said? 'Cause you said there was like 3 different ones.
Tobacco, oud, and cologne.
That's right. Okay. Now, do you like it like a traditional cologne, like that smells like something you'd spray, or do you want it a combination of things that morphs into like a cologne-y type of vibe?
Okay, yeah. So I've had from companies where they use like a cool water base or something like that, which I always think is cool because growing up when I was younger, cool water, Calvin Klein, things like that, they were stuff that as in high school you wore all the time. So it's like a nostalgia trip real quick. But for me, the ones that I found seem to make me want to grab them over and over again are when a company does their own take on a cologne blend. So they take different scent profiles, put them together, and they make this original blend that everybody says, oh, you're copping out. You called it a cologne. But that's what it smells like. It smells like a cologne blend, and I love the way those come out. I really do. Yeah. And like smoky colognes, I'm in 100%.
Swag, what's up, buddy? Hope you're doing well, man.
What's going on, Swag?
Okay, so I got 2 more for you, and I apologize if I'm taking longer in this segment.
No, you're good, brother. Go ahead.
This is kind of a rudimentary one, man, but to be honest with you, I personally have never heard you speak to this, so I was just kind of curious, man, or what are some hobbies that you have outside of the beard community?
I'm sorry, my ear just popped as you were saying that. Go ahead.
Okay. What are some hobbies that you have outside of the beard community?
So I know this is going to sound cliche, but my daughter, she's, I'm like literally anything I can do with her. So it's become a hobby, just trying to find something she still wants to do with me at this point.
Damn straight, man. Absolutely.
Like when she was younger, I could throw on a video game she still wanted to play. Now, yeah, no, not so much. So now I got to find other ways to kind of get her to want to hang out with me. And she'll still play a board game with me here or there, which is cool. So definitely that. I am a gamer though. So video games is always something I've enjoyed being into. When I was in better shape, like before, because I don't know if you've seen, but I have a medical condition. So before all this, basketball was a huge, huge hobby of mine. I loved playing basketball, loved it. And hopefully the bars open up again soon and such, so I can get to go and play a game of pool real soon. because I miss playing pool.
Gotcha, man. Yeah. Do you have guys that you or gals that you play pool with, or do you just like to go shoot games by yourself? Or
so my buddy Chris, we've been best friends since he was about 17. He's the godfather to my daughter. I'm the godfather to his son. We go and shoot together all the time. And then we have the Knights of Columbus, where I'm a member at. You got a bunch of those old guys, and I'm talking, you got guys in their 70s, 80s. They'll come hobbling up to the thing acting like, oh, just an old man. Just that old man will get you to put $20 on that table and then run the table in one try. So don't be fooled. Those old men know exactly what they're doing.
Yep. Sober Chef Eric, what's up, man? Okay, so this is one that I'm really interested in, man. So that's why I'm saving it for last. Okay. I want to know one thing that you, okay, and we're gonna put the daughter aside. Okay, now we know you love her, just like I know she's all your life. She's your world, right? But let's put her aside. I hate to even say it like that because it sounds horrible, but let's put her aside.
You're good. You're good.
And I want to know something that you would still like to accomplish in your life for yourself. So something left that you still want to accomplish in your life for yourself, man. Not I'd like to do this for my daughter. I'd like to do this or do that. But I mean, for Joe, something you'd still like to accomplish in your life for yourself, man.
So this might sound weird to some, but because of my situation, I am on disability, things like that. I've never, ever known the feeling of having my own place, ever, ever in my life. Disability doesn't pay a lot, so I'm always with family or something like that. And while I love my family, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't trade them for the world. Something I would love to accomplish for me one day is to know the feeling of walking into a place and knowing it's mine. And that's my home. I can set things up my way. I can do things my way. If I want to walk around my house in boxers at 2 a.m., that's my call. It's my house. Right. So I know it doesn't sound like something big to a lot of people, but for me, it would be a dream come true, honestly, just to actually have that happen one day.
But see, I love that, man. Okay. Those answers that you gave tonight, man, were like really genuine answers. And like, I was hoping that you would give me something like that, man. Okay. Because a lot of times you ask me or I ask you or two people are talking and you get the most generic answers. But for you to give me an answer like that has a little bit like deeper meaning, like you could have not revealed that to people. Like you could have just said, oh man, I'd like to go somewhere I haven't been on vacation.
Right.
You know what I mean? The cliche stuff that you hear everybody say, man. But super good answers, man. I'm glad I was the one to be able to do that, to ask you questions, man. I think that's a pretty cool thing to do within this show, man. But yeah, man. And isn't that funny though? Everybody has things that they still want to accomplish that aren't just the fun things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like things that you want to accomplish don't necessarily have to be fun. They just need to be meaningful in some way, So appreciate you letting me partake in that little segment, man.
No, absolutely. And for me, the way I was raised, and I was very fortunate to have two amazing men in my life who raised me, my grandfather and my father. They always told me that you honest and open. Mm-hmm. Always. People might not always appreciate it, but when you look back, you can say that you were real the whole time.
Yeah.
And that you were genuine. So when I answer things, I'm just not, look, would it be awesome to go to Hawaii one day or something like that? Absolutely. I've never been out of America. I still wouldn't be if I went to Hawaii, but you know what I mean?
Right.
It would be amazing to get off the mainland one day,
Right.
But realistically, if the day comes and I can walk into anywhere and it's mine, I'll be the happiest person on the planet in that moment. I'll be good.
Yeah.
Because then I can also use the words of, yeah, dinner was cool, but you know what, guys? Time to go.
Right.
Back to your house now. Back to
Right,
your house.
man. Yeah. Yeah. That's super good answers, man. I can totally relate to that, man. So right on.
All right, brother. So if you're ready, man, and I appreciate that, and I want to thank you for being the first guy I did that little segment when. I thought it went pretty cool, and it's something I'm looking forward to doing. It popped into my head today. I was like, these owners get asked questions a million times on a ton of different shows.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I gave them a chance to actually ask me some stuff? And I know that it could get like crazy at some points, and who knows what an owner is going to ask me one day. But you know what? That's part of the fun of it.
Yeah. Well, I just I knew it would be good for me to be able to ask you the type of questions I did, man, because I know you're a dad, and a lot like myself, I'm a dad first, man. I'm a dad first. So I wanted to go with some questions that kind of related to life, not necessarily beard stuff all the time, but
All right, man. Well, I have my lightning round here.
Okay.
So if you're all set, yeah, man. I come prepared, man. Brother. I come prepared.
Merry Christmas. Don't make it too hard. Remember that thing where I can't think fast and do multiple things?
Most of these are this one or that one or this one. There's a few in here where you got to pick one, but most of them are that one.
Gotcha.
You all set, sir?
Let's do it.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
Steak or chicken?
Steak.
Hamburger or hot dog?
Hamburger.
Nobody's ever going to pick hot dog, man. Driving me
nuts. I love
nuts.
Hot dogs, though, man.
Cake or ice cream? And you've got to be careful with this one because if you get this wrong, Sam's going to be really upset.
I got to be honest with you, man. I'm more of an ice cream person, bud.
There you go. She's going to be thrilled. You just made her a happy kid.
Okay.
So, Pepsi or Coke?
I'm a Coke person, man.
Ah, man, there's so many of you guys out there, apparently. I don't know what's wrong with you guys.
It's kind of like beard sense, man. Coke's the stronger one. It's got a little more ass to it than the Pepsi. I like them both, but anyway.
Tennis or golf?
Definitely golf for me, man.
Favorite golfer? Like, do you watch it or do you just enjoy playing it?
I do. I used to watch it a lot more, man. But I used to like this guy's name was Camilo Villegas, kind of a younger, ripped dude. I liked him from his athletic standpoint.
Very cool. The woods or the beach?
Woods.
Hiking or sitting on social media?
Hiking, man. when possible, if I had my choice.
Favorite action movie?
Favorite action movie? It's going to sound corny as hell, man, but something Steven Seagal, dude. I was always a huge Steven Seagal fan growing up, dude. My boy.
I thought I was the only one out there.
No, man. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I love that dude.
Come on, man. The slick back hair and the fact that these guys would come running up with all these crazy moves and Steven would just go, and break their arm.
Love it, dude.
He used to sneeze and break somebody's jaw. Like, it was amazing. Right. Favorite music genre?
I'm a rocker, man.
Okay. Favorite band?
It's not really.
I know.
Hall & Oates, man.
Favorite actor?
Favorite actor, man. I'm a huge Al Pacino fan. Always been a huge Al Pacino fan. I would go with that.
Favorite movie that he was in?
Man, it's a tough one, but I'm going to go with Heat.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a very good one. That's a good one. Although, man, see, Pacino's been in so many classic roles. It's hard to nail that down. Like, how do you go against The Godfather? Like, how do you go against some of the roles he was in?
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for asking that one. Actually,
that's all right, man. All right.
Favorite actress?
Oh boy, I'll tell you what. When it comes to the women's side of things, man, I don't watch a lot of women-esque movies, dude. I'm trying.
Even if it's just for the fact that you enjoy looking at her.
Oh God, so you're going to get me in trouble with Emily now. I really don't know, man. I'm serious. Like, favorite actress. Damn, buddy.
This one always gets people. It's amazing,
yeah, dude. Because I'm such a guy that I don't really like. like I don't watch a lot of movies to look at women. I'd rather watch that on other stuff.
We got Halle Berry coming up in the chat here.
Well, you know what? I'll let him answer it for me. We'll go Halle Berry then. I really can't put my finger on one, man, to be honest. That's how important.
I don't know. I'm going to have to get rid of that favorite actress. Every time I ask it, it stumps everybody sitting in the chair.
Tough one, man.
Whiskey or brandy?
Whiskey.
Vodka or tequila?
Vodka or tequila? Definitely tequila.
Ugh, no. True story. 21st birthday. My father's best friend brought over 3 bottles of Jose Cuervo and made me stay with him until I finished all 3. And then I was throwing up tequila for the next 24 hours.
I can imagine.
Haven't touched it since.
Damn.
Haven't touched tequila since that day. Nope. Pizza or taco?
Oh, man. Well, my grandma is full-blooded Mexican, so I got to go taco.
Hunting or fishing?
Fishing.
Yes, I love going fishing, dude. Love it. Nike or Reebok?
More Reebok if I had to choose.
Football or baseball?
Man, see, neither of them are my favorite, but I'd probably choose football.
Okay. Basketball or hockey?
Basketball is my all-time favorite. From Indiana, I gotta love basketball, man.
Who's your fan? I would assume on that one.
Hardcore.
MMA or boxing?
Boxing for sure.
See, I always tell people the same thing. I love MMA. The sport is amazing, but it doesn't have the history that boxing has yet. And some of the classic fighters and amazing fights that were out there, you just can't go wrong with some of that stuff, man.
Correct.
Favorite candy?
Favorite candy. I like sour stuff, man. So I don't know, like what's one that I get all the time when I get candy?
Sour Patch Kids?
We'll go with that, man. Anything sour.
You and my daughter would really get along in life, sour. Like that's her all the way.
The raw my mouth out type of sour stuff.
Yeah, like the way she wants it is that if she takes the candy, she wants her face to immediately go like.
Yes, exactly.
And she's a happy person.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Favorite chips?
We have a brand over here called Kitchen Cook Chips. They were that's my favorite. They're kind of a plain potato chip actually, but they have
Never heard of the brand though. Maybe that's something local to you guys, I guess.
Yeah, it's made here. It was made here in this area, but but that's the one I would go with.
Lemon heads, chocolate. Look at these guys. Warheads. I remember Warheads. I haven't had a Warhead in forever.
We're good, but the sour just didn't last long enough.
Yeah, and then we got Miss Bluegrass with kettle chips. There you go.
Similar, yeah.
Who would win in a fight? Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali?
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, who would win? It would probably be Muhammad Ali, but I hate that first few seconds with Tyson, man. Straight up pit bull, dude.
Listen, Ali is in my opinion, Mike is an amazing fighter. Ali's the greatest heavyweight of all time. Mm-hmm. And when you look at them, when you size it up, when you put everything out there on paper, Ali should win that fight. Mm-hmm. But if they ran that fight 100 times, Mike's going to win about 40 of them probably.
Yeah.
Just because all he's got to do is connect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If he lands early, it's a problem.
Yeah. Big problem.
Are you a pro wrestling fan at all, sir?
Not since a kid, buddy. Not since a kid.
Okay, well then you might be able to answer this one depending on the age. Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair?
In my time, I probably would have been a bigger Hulk Hogan fan, man.
I don't know if wrestling makes it to where it is without Hulk Hogan, honestly.
Yeah. I was kind of like the second tier wrestling fan. Like I like Mr. Perfect and like the ones that aren't. Or Sting was a huge one for me.
Oh, loved Sting. Mm-hmm. Loved Sting. Still love Sting to this day. Although I do think it's time for the man to retire. Hopefully he does soon. Apple or Android?
I'm definitely an Android guy, man.
Yeah, I can't get into the Apple world because you have to have everything Apple to go with it.
I refuse to pigeonhole myself.
Favorite historic figure?
Ooh. Oh, man. God, gosh, you're putting me on the spot with some of these things I never really think about, right? Like, I mean, I'll know, like, oh yeah, but like to name somebody right off the top of my head that's a true historic figure.
It can be, listen, when I say historic figure, we're talking anybody from like anywhere in history. People think history, you got to go back to like the 1900s.
Right.
Anybody.
Man. God, Joe, you're putting me on the spot, brother. Give me some options, man. This is horrible.
I don't know, man.
You know,
We've had people pick Steve Jobs. We've had people pick Abraham Lincoln. We've had people pick Gandhi. I mean,
you know,
people got all over the place with it.
You know who my story first is? Freaking Bobby Knight. That's who mine is. All right.
There you go.
The general. And I'll tell you, because he was a history buff himself. If you ever want to read a book on somebody who knows a lot of stuff about history, that dude does. He's a wealth of knowledge, man. But
that's a good one. That works for me. That works for me. I definitely pick a few coaches in my life.
Couple tough ones in there, brother.
Oh, well, we're almost done. No worries, sir. We're almost done. Favorite cookie?
Probably just a chocolate chip, man. I love sugar cookies too, but probably
like
just
store bought or make them at home.
I'd prefer to have them made at home personally.
Yeah.
Because I like my cookies underdone. I don't like a crunchy cookie. I almost like a doughy cookie.
Yes, sir. Yes. I mean, if I could, honestly, I would just take the dough probably and start eating. But
yeah,
I stopped myself because then Sam wants to do it too, and I'm like, no, that's not good for her. That's not good for her.
Yeah.
Favorite cartoon?
Thundercats from the 80s.
Dude, so many of you guys are answering that. This is amazing. I like literally was a Thundercats addict when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Who wins in a fight, a vampire or a zombie?
Probably a zombie, man. I don't know. You know, like those are great questions, dude. You never think about them. You know what I mean? A zombie, you just keep doing what you do to them, and they just keep coming at you, man. But then again, vampires live forever, so who the hell knows, man? You know, I'm going zombie.
Another one. Who wins in a fight, King Kong or Godzilla?
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm going Kong, baby. That damn gorilla, man.
It's the brain, man. They think they can figure things out. Like that's going to be tough for Godzilla to beat.
Yeah.
I'm actually really looking forward to that movie, by the way, if people haven't figured that out yet. Like I'm really looking forward to that movie. Listen, growing up, my grandfather bought me all the Japanese Godzilla movies with the horrible dubbed over subtitles and all that stuff. And I grew up on that stuff and I loved it all. Loved it all. All right. 3 more to go and then we're done.
Okay, buddy.
Greatest basketball player or best basketball player out of these two, let's say. Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Oh, dude. There's no doubt about it. My opinion is Jordan. My opinion is LeBron is just big. If he didn't have the size and he played back in the 80s and early 90s when them people would put you on your ass if you tried to just drive down the middle of the lane like he does right now, he wouldn't have nearly the stats. But that's just my opinion, man. People used to bleed when they used to play ball in real life. That stuff don't happen no more. He'd have a different career if he played late 80s, early 90s basketball.
Well, I understand what you're saying on that, but I also say to people, if he grew up back then, he might have had a different mindset as well. Very true, he might have grown up in the game like that, and he might have been different as well. What I always tell people is this. LeBron might be the greatest athlete we've ever seen. We've never seen a guy his size do some of the things he can do. However, Michael Jordan was a killer. There was when he was on the court, he wanted you to know he was the best player on that court. And if you thought you were better than him, he was going to embarrass you that night just to prove his point.
Yeah.
All right. The 2 biggest questions in the beard world, my friend.
Yes.
How should a steak be cooked?
I like mine. I like mine medium.
Food should be cooked, dude.
I can't. I mean, I like a little bit of pink. I don't like I can't have it well done, man. I have to have it juicy and still.
Well, now wait. When we say like a little bit of pink, are we talking like a
I don't
pink
want my
hue to it.
I don't want my shit bloody. No, I don't want
Okay,
blood.
I'm okay with you then. I don't mind a little bit of pink to it, if you will. But my father used to literally walk into restaurants. I'm sorry, Dad. He used to literally walk into restaurants, look at the waitress, and go, "I want you to go in the back, find my steak, take it out, sit it on the counter for about 2 minutes, then pick it up, slap it on both sides, walk it through the hottest room you have, and put it in front of me, and I'm good to go." Like he barely wanted it cooked.
Like it would be cold still.
Yeah, no, he barely wanted that thing cooked.
That's a man right there or something. Because that ain't me, bro. I mean, I gotta tell you,
there was times when he cut into his steak that I was like, "Dad, like that thing could still be mooing at you right now."
Yeah, it's all purple.
Yeah, no, that's not okay for me. Nope. Maybe that's why. I don't know, but I don't mind a little bit of pinkness to it. But I just that rare side. No, sir, don't get that anywhere near me.
Yeah, I'm not like that either, bro.
And then, does pineapple belong on your pizza?
Yeah, that's a no for me. Not that I would hate it, because when it comes to pizza, I'll pretty much eat anything. But am I going to choose to have it on there? No.
Yeah,
man.
Where's Johnny? Johnny, we got to win, Johnny. We got another one. We got another one. It's been a hot topic of debate for a while, and I like to have fun with it, honestly. Yeah. I know some people love their pineapple and bacon pizzas or their pineapple and ham pizzas, and that's cool, man. Listen, I like mushroom and sausage pizza. Like, whatever, man. Everybody's got their own thing.
Love me some mushrooms.
Absolutely. So, a couple things. Number one, I want to know, how is Honyocker doing during COVID? Like, how are you guys holding up right now?
Honyocker has been just fine, man. And we just keep growing and keep getting busier and busier. Witch's Breath was the biggest release to date. I literally sold that out twice, which is a first for me. Hopefully I got some more labels that are due in tomorrow, so I can make some more of that, because I know there's still some guys wanting to grab some of that. That one would be Johnny and Barcado Joe's least favorite scent of all time.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll continue to give them shit with that. Yeah. It's been great, man. It really has. I haven't. The only thing that's been affected, much like any other company, is going to be getting supplies.
Right.
I know, like, there's been a few times when our co-wash and wash bottles have been obsolete, and I've had to wait way longer than I wanted for those and stuff like that. But other than supply wise, dude, it's been just fine, and we've been able to manage through that. We're not one of the bigger companies that's ordering 50-gallon drums of co-wash. You know what I mean? So we don't have to worry about getting our hands on that kind of quality of stuff yet. But it's been pretty good, man.
Now, oh, look at that! There you go. I just bought Memoirs. This will be my first time trying Honyocker. I had to go with the leather.
Right on, brother. I appreciate that, man. I hope you like it, buddy. It's literally our top seller this year. It was our first release of this year, and it's ran the table as our top seller this year. So hopefully you dig it, man. Since
you bought it during my live, Ken, I want one thing from you. When you get the product, the first time you put it in beard, I want you to reach out to me and tell me what you think. Because Barcado Joe was the reason I started talking to Adam, and he told me to do the same thing. And I did, and I said, Joe, you were 100% right. So I just want to know, when you try it, reach out to me and tell me what you think. Yeah, that's a good one to go with, man. I hope you like it. It's been well received, so appreciate it. And so the last thing I like to ask everybody is, in a perfect world, right, which we're far from that at the moment, obviously. Right. In a perfect world, though, 5 years from now, what would Honyocker be, or where would it be? Like, would you be full-time with it? Would you have your own store? Would you have this? Like, what do you want for Honyocker in the future?
In 5 years, man, I would, I don't necessarily want any kind of store. I'm doing it full time right now.
Okay.
Realistically, I would probably like it to, I'd say if I could double where it's at right now, I would be happy with where it's at, simply because I don't want to get so big that I lose touch with everybody. That's
Right.
key for me. I'm not doing it to get rich. I'm doing it to be able to continue doing it. And so that I can do it full time and still communicate with you guys, still do these shows, not have to turn you down when you reach out to me because I just worked all day and I got to get making stuff. I want to be able to continue to do these things and have time to do them. So, just slowly growing, man. I am not somebody who's in a race to be number one or in a race to grow huge. I just like steady growth. If I'm doing steady growth, I'm on the right track, man. So really just keep on keeping on right now, man. If in 5 years I'll be where I want to be and we'll be having just as much fun.
Now, I'm sorry, I just completely blanked. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
First of all, real quick, I wanted to again apologize, guys, if I don't sound great or if my voice has been terrible tonight. I did my best for you guys. I've been fighting this damn throat thing for 5 days now, and it's finally starting to let up a little bit. And I want to thank you. I know you're saying like, oh, it's cool that I got to come on here and you want to thank me, but I want to thank you, sir, because Honyocker is one of the more respected companies out there. When you talk to people, you don't hear a bad thing or a negative thing said about you. And I know I am far from one of the biggest channels out there. So when I reached out to you and you didn't even hesitate. It wasn't even a second thought. You were like, yeah, dude, absolutely. When? I was almost sitting there staring at the screen like, damn, I didn't expect him to say yes. I was like, he said, yeah. I was like, all right.
Nah, man, I'll be honest with you, brother. I appreciate any time that somebody even thinks of me or the company to reach out and ask me that. I'm always very humbled. And unless I have pre-plans or something, I'm always going to do the show. If I can help you, and fill a spot and bring some people in to watch your hard work and stuff, man, then I'm gonna do what I can to help you out, man. And plus, man, this is a show I haven't been on before, dude. I have a lot of respect for you, and it was an honor for me to be on, buddy. I could care less if you got one follower, dude. You asked me to come on your show. You know what I mean? So here I am, baby. We did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And it was awesome, brother. And I want to listen, man, a lot of other people, if I would have said, oh, yeah, ask the interviewer, they probably would have just walked in here with a couple generic questions real quick. Like, you actually put some thought into those questions, and it made for a nice little exchange. So I want to thank you on that one, man. Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Glad to be a part of that one.
And all right, guys, so we are just about ready to wrap it up here because you guys know, man, school year's back. So 10:30 deadline right now to make sure the kids are in bed and all that good stuff. So I want to thank Adam for coming on. He's been amazing. Absolutely a ton of fun, man. Anything you want to say before we get ready to wrap this up?
Other than just reiterate, thank you very much for asking, and everybody that joined tonight, man. I know I'm not going to speak for Joe, but I know he appreciates it. And I know I do, man, that you cared enough to stop in and hang with us tonight. Always means a lot to me. So appreciate you all greatly.
Yeah. And again, I want to thank Adam. He was amazing. Absolutely amazing guest. You guys don't even understand how important that is, because when you have an interview type show, if the guy sitting over there isn't having fun with it as well, it kind of makes for not so fun of a show. So it's a huge part that the guy you invite on enjoys himself and has a good time with it. And Adam's been great tonight. I want to thank every single one of you guys. You guys know by now how much I appreciate every one of you who shows up. In my mind, I don't care if there's one of you in here or 500 of you in here. You still took the time out to come watch me tonight. You could have done a million other things, but you chose to come in here and watch my show. So for me, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for another awesome episode. We will be back next week. And you guys know how it goes. Stay safe, stay bearded, but most of all, be good to each other and take care of each other out there, right? And we'll see you guys on the next one, man. Be good.
See you guys. Thanks a lot. See you, Joe.